The graduation and hooding ceremony for the University of Arkansas at Little Rock, William H. Bowen School of Law, Class of 2019, will now begin. You may be seated.
Good evening. I am Andrew Rogerson. I am Chancellor of the University of Arkansas at Little Rock, and it is my distinct pleasure to welcome our graduates, their families and friends to this very special occasion. Tonight is all about honoring your accomplishments and hard work that got you through this very demanding course of study. And on behalf of the faculty and staff of the William H. Bowen School of Law, we celebrate with you. I would also like to acknowledge our distinguished faculty who are here with us to participate in this important ceremony, and to thank them for their dedication. Thank you to the many staff who have volunteered their time for this event. Every commencement affirms our collective passion to educate, equip, and elevate our students. Before becoming your chancellor, I invested my life in academia. I know that higher education enriches one's life, creates greater opportunities for your future, and allows each one of you to realize your full potential. If we have done our job well, and I know we have, as graduates, you will leave the world of this university and enter upon the course of your careers to contribute to the world. Making a meaningful contribution is, of course, most relevant in the case of Bowen Law School graduates who have received a high-quality legal education with a focus on hands-on learning. You have acquired the knowledge, skills, and ethical concepts to become competent attorneys, public officials, or business professionals, all based on the law school's three core values: access to justice, public service, and professionalism. I know you have worked hard and sacrificed for your accomplishments today. The quest for learning, often in the face of challenge, is part of what builds the strength and depth of character that will serve you well as you move into your next chapter. In the years ahead, you will be faced with more questions, perhaps, than solutions. Your lives will teach you to apply all you have learned in ways none of us could have envisaged. Such is the beauty of your education. You have the foundation that is strong because Bowen has given you a practical, applied legal educational experience, rich in skill courses and experiential learning. You're also graduating from a school steeped in excellence that has received national recognition. To name just a few accolades, Bowen is a top producer of government lawyers, prosecutors, and public defenders. Bowen is in the top 20 for legal writing and is named Best Value School based on tuition, bar pass rate, and employment rate. Bowen is named Best Law School for practical training, for yield rate, and professionalism. This and more makes me very proud to have the school as a vital part of the University of Arkansas at Little Rock. And I know it makes you, graduates of 2019, and your family and friends equally proud. The world you're about to enter will challenge you as you face the issues at hand. Your future will demand creativity, resilience, and innovation. I want to leave you with some parting advice to guide you on your way. I charge you to become lifelong learners. Knowledge is a tool for bettering the world. Continue to use your skill at acquiring knowledge and practice critical thinking. Ask questions and pursue answers. Exercise discipline in your work. Remember that this university remains committed to your success and is available to support your goals. I charge you to cultivate compassion for others. Embrace our differences and appreciate what we have in common. Embrace kindness, caring, and generosity, the virtues that are the essence of our humanity and the ingredients we need to truly achieve a peaceful, collaborative coexistence. You leave here with the ability to add great value to society. Bowen students perform more than 10,000 hours of public service each year. You have the knowledge to ensure justice for all, especially for those who cannot afford services. And going forward, you can impose accountability and protect the rule of law. The heart of this university is tied to the city of Little Rock. I charge you to become a part of civic and community life wherever you call home. Those of you fortunate to remain in Little Rock, know that your law degree opens doors and opens hearts. As you give back to your community, you will be amazed at the connections you will make and the opportunities to contribute to the common good. I charge you to actively seek and create and teach a life of hope. We must believe that what we think, say, and do can make a difference. Keep your heart strong in the belief that a better, more enlightened, kinder, and humane world is possible, and you will see opportunities to make that a reality. Graduates, today is the day you envisaged when you applied for admission to the William H. Bowen School of Law, a valued school within the University of Arkansas at Little Rock. The faculty of this school has determined that you, the graduates of 2019, are ready to meet your responsibilities. I join them in wishing you a rewarding future filled with a sense of adventure, joy, and success. Congratulations.
Dr. Rogerson, thank you for that lovely welcome. Good evening. My name is Terry Biner, and I'm honored to serve as the Dean of the UA Little Rock Bowen School of Law. On behalf of the faculty and administration, I welcome all of you to the graduation ceremonies for the class of 2019. I'm joined on stage today with a number of officials and dignitaries. To my right, in addition to Chancellor Rogerson, is Dr. Christina Drayle, Executive Vice Chancellor and Provost. Our keynote speaker today, Governor Asa Hutchinson, Mark Hayes, who is president of Bowen's Alumni Association, and Judge Joel Volpe, who is a U.S. Magistrate for the Eastern District of Arkansas. Judge Volpe is a West Point graduate, and I am proud to say also a Bowen graduate. He's a retired United States Army Lieutenant Colonel and will be giving each of our graduates who served or currently serves in the military a small coin as a token of the university's gratitude for their service to our country. To my left, I have Professor Lynn Foster, who's one of our faculty marshals today, Associate Dean Terrence Kane, and Professor of Law and Dean Emeritus John DePippa, who will be hooding our graduates today, Professor Joshua Silverstein, who will be announcing our graduates, and Professor Tom Sullivan, also a faculty marshal today. I'm also joined on stage by other members of the faculty. If they could please stand. I am fortunate to serve with colleagues who have diverse and impressive backgrounds, are passionate, caring, and effective teachers, and pursue a variety of scholarly interests. They have earned reputations locally, nationally, and internationally as scholars and public servants. But in one respect, we are all alike. We all care about Bowen students and are committed to student success in both the classroom and in the practice of law. Put simply, at Bowen, we love our students. Please join me in recognizing members of the faculty. Let me say a few words to the graduating class. Graduates, you should be so proud of yourself for all your hard work that you've put in over the last 3 or 4 years, in the case of our part-time students, to earn your degrees. You've learned a remarkable amount of law and have developed analytical and communication skills that no doubt often make you a formidable opponent in any argument over dinner at your family tables. This knowledge and these skills will serve you well in the practice of law. Use them wisely. Of course, you did not do this alone. In the audience today are people who supported you in what was truly a team effort. Your parents, children, spouses, partners, friends, and mentors all had your backs during this journey to get to this day. So let's take a moment to recognize members of the audience who helped you get here today. members of the audience, these students are pretty amazing. They are unique, talented, and committed to Bowen's core values of public service, access to justice, and professionalism. This year, just to provide you with a few examples, Bowen students completed over 1,600 hours of public service. They served as leaders of student organizations, advocated in court for Arkansans who could not afford attorneys, and provided pro bono services in a variety of settings. We are lucky to have the opportunity to teach and get to know such smart and caring individuals. As faculty members, we have the greatest impact on the world, not based on the articles we write or the research we do, but instead in what our students do once they graduate. Students, I am confident that you will continue to serve others and look forward to seeing the amazing things that you'll do. I also have the privilege tonight to introduce our speaker, Governor Asa Hutchinson. In Governor Hutchinson's 2 terms as the 46th governor of Arkansas, he has won recognition for the state as a leader in computer science education, cut taxes by nearly $250 million, and signed a law that exempts the retirement payment of veterans from state income tax. Under his economic development policies, 80,000 more people are working in Arkansas than when he took office, and he has signed incentive agreements with nearly 400 companies that were expanding or opening in the state. For nearly 2 years, the state's unemployment rate has stayed at or below the national rate. His experience has established him as a national resource for his expertise on trade, energy, national security, and education. He and his wife, Susan, have been married for 45 years. They have 4 children and 6 grandchildren. Please join me in welcoming Governor Asa Hutchinson.
Thank you, Dean Biner. It is good to be with you today. Chancellor Rogerson, members of the law faculty, distinguished guests, and law graduates. In my career, I have had many titles: congressman, undersecretary, governor. But the title that is fundamental to my thinking, and the title which expresses my passion in private and public life, is what I earned 44 years ago: lawyer. I trust that does not surprise you, because I hope each of you are of the same mind. Being a lawyer in America means something. Sure, the public has a little more jaundiced view of the profession, but don't let that skew your thinking. The rule of law is fundamental to who we are as a nation and is foundational to our economy and our democracy. And the rule of law is an empty phrase without lawyers. And courtrooms become museums without the lawyers. And our Constitution would be confined to our national archives to be viewed through a glass showcase without lawyers who make it apply to every man and woman in America. I'm taking my hat off. I decided that was just too much entertainment for everybody out there. And our Constitution would be confined to our national archives to be viewed through a glass showcase without lawyers who make it apply to every man and woman in America. My favorite author is from another century. He is Henry Van Dyke, a professor at Princeton and an outdoorsman in the early 1900s. One of his books is entitled The Ruling Passion. And Mr. Van Dyke makes the case that, quote, in every life worth writing about, there is a ruling passion, end quote. He calls it the very pulse of the machine. One ruling passion he described is the pursuit of justice. Graduates, make the pursuit of justice your passion. The frustrating part is that we can all point to cases in which it seems that justice has fallen in the streets. Well, we do have a human system with human frailties, and that is even more the reason to have lawyers in the courtroom and in the executive suite of companies and in our education system and in the arena of public service. because it is lawyers that should have the ruling passion of justice and truth. Alexander Solzhenitsyn, the famed Russian dissident who spent time in the gulags, gave the commencement address at Harvard in 1978. He told the graduates, quote, "Truth eludes. Truth eludes us if we do not concentrate our attention totally on its pursuit," end quote. As lawyers, truth is our mission and justice should be our passion. I'm grateful for the work of the Bowen Law School to provide equal access to justice for those who may need help. I know you are hoping to create a veterans legal clinic. The state will be committing $750,000 to UALR for this purpose, and the Attorney General is likewise contributing funding as well. To the future lawyers, in this graduating class, Sun Tzu in The Art of War said, "If you know the enemy and know yourself, you need not fear the result of 100 battles." I know Sun Tzu was referring to real combat, but his admonition applies to the pursuit of justice. You must not lose sight of your own character, principles, and the fundamentals of pursuing truth and justice. But you'd also know the enemy of justice. Know the enemy that can derail our system of law. As lawyers, we must work every day to preserve our system of equal justice. We have challenges today, and it is up to you to protect our rule of law. In our legislative sessions in the past, since I've been governor, we've accomplished criminal justice reform so that we have fewer people in prison today than 5 years ago. We just passed juvenile justice reform that gives our juvenile justices a better opportunity to determine exactly what that juvenile needs to get them back on track. And so let me end with a story. A former commissioner of baseball, Fay Vincent, told in a book that he wrote that if you look at baseball, there's something that you can see happen over and over again. And that is when the pitcher throws the pitch and the batter fouls it off, and the catcher, you will see, flip the catcher's mask off, it lands in the dust, and he pursues the foul ball to catch it. And as he returns to the plate, 9 times out of 10, you see the opposing batter pick up the catcher's mask, dust it off, and hand it back to the opposing catcher. His point is, in baseball, tradition was important and civility means something. As lawyers, when I was a young lawyer, it was lawyers that helped me. They mentored me. They sent me business when I needed it. And they taught me how to fight for your client and be collegial and professional. And so, law graduates, pursue truth, let justice be your passion, and lead our nation with civility. Thank you.
Governor Hutchinson, thank you for your remarks and for your service to the community and for us today for your remarks. We have a small token for you today. Thank you. I would like to ask Simon Kelly to join me on stage. As Mr. Kelly makes his way to the stage, let me tell you a little bit about him. Actually, I'm going to brag about him a little bit here. As a veteran of the United States Army, Simon has been actively involved in our Student Veterans Organization during his time at Bowen. As president of that organization for the last 3 years, he's coordinated events and partnerships to highlight the importance of public service and justice by bringing in local public officials, judges, and attorneys to speak at Bowen. He's the executive editor of the UALR Journal of Social Change and Public Service and was vice president of the Criminal Law Association for 2 years. Simon was a pupil of the Overton Inn of Court for 2 years and a research assistant before Dean Emeritus John DePippa. He has helped run several veterans legal clinics and has worked hard to foster a positive atmosphere both toward and for veterans during his time here. He assisted with 4 expungement clinics by drafting paperwork and explaining the process to clients. His dedication and hard work have positively impacted students, clients, and community members. His commitment and passion for public service is evident, from volunteering for 3 attorneys serving low-income clients to taking on an externship at the Public Defender's Office. Simon also spent most Tuesdays setting up and volunteering for the Veteran Legal Assistance Program at the Veterans Day Treatment Center, working with homeless, near homeless, and low-income veterans on legal issues. Those who have had the privilege of knowing Simon during his time at Bowen can't help but mention his commitment to the community, his ceaseless advocacy for those who have been overlooked, and his obvious passion for every project he takes on. For his efforts to make our community more compassionate and his fight for justice, Simon was selected to receive the Outstanding Public Service Award for the class of 2019, which I'm pleased to present to him today. Mr. Kelly, on behalf of the law school, thank you for your dedication to our profession and public service. In addition to this honor, you'll receive a $1,000 check to go through your bar preparation. Could Jordan Persefield please approach the stage for me? Tori? Members of the audience, for those of you who don't know, our Student Bar Association is Bowen's student government organization. Miss Jordan Persefield, each year we honor our outgoing Student Bar Association president for her service representing Bowen students. On behalf of the law school, I am presenting you with something to honor your service as SBA president. Thank you, Ms. Jordan Persefield.
Yeah. So first, I just want to do this real fast. Because I don't think I'll ever get to do that again. So I was going to write a 30-page law review article, single-spaced front and back, with footnotes for my speech today, but then I realized I wasn't Joshua Silverstein, and they did give me a 3-minute time frame, so that was ixnayed. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Victoria Jordan Persefield, and I was elected by my classmates as the Student Bar Association president for the 2018-2019 year. Many of you may not remember this, but on our first day of law school, a very wise professor and dean said, "On this day, the class of 2019 is infinite." I made a mental note of this because I wanted to remind all of you on the day we graduated that our lives aren't defined by the past 3 years of dedication and hard work. Our lives are defined by the character and commitment to our profession that we show from here on out. I wanted to remind you all to have a happy work-life balance, especially after the bar. And I wanted to remind you of this because today and every day after this, the class of 2019 will forever be infinite. We started the first week with over 120 students. We lost a few fellow classmates on the way to other professions and degrees, but we were the ones who persevered. We were the ones who obtained this JD. And that was no easy feat, and you should all be very proud of yourselves because I am very proud of each and every one of us. The class of 2019 is made up of daughters, sons, mothers, fathers, sisters, brothers, husbands and wives, and friends. The class of 2019 is made up of some of the brightest minds I have ever met. And more importantly, I am proud to call each and every one of you my friend and colleague. The class of 2019 saw 16 weddings, mine included, 4 newborn babies, countless engagements, wedding anniversaries, and a few heartaches. We all took the same IRATs. We all took the same midterms, the same finals. And I would like to take this very public opportunity to apologize to Professor Philip Oliver for the torts essay that I wrote. It was my first final. I'm very sorry for what you had to read, and I did handwrite it. And I would also like to take this very public opportunity to say to each one of you, you're welcome for that curve. We walked into